Hello, my name is Russell Southwood from Balancing Act. We're a consultancy and research company specialising in internet, telecoms and broadcast in Africa. Due to the vagaries of airline schedules, we are unfortunately not able to be with you today, but I hope this short video will make a useful contribution to the discussion that follows. Media is fundamental to creating a democratic conversation in all its richness and complexity. It is not just about sending development messages. For as one Hollywood mogul used to say to aspiring filmmakers, if you want to send a message, use Western Union. Africa is in the lucky position now of not just being in a circumstance where media is used to send messages, people now have the means to create those messages themselves and create a complex and rich interaction between both users and receivers of media messages. Media, whether news or local fiction output, like Nollywood, is about how people see themselves. And if you do not have an effective media, then effectively you are looking through someone else's mirror at yourself. And this, unfortunately, is Africa's position at the moment. For something like 80 to 90% of all content on television is produced outside the continent. However, there has been an enormous upsurge of media on the continent over the last 3 years. 28 out of 46 Sub-Saharan African countries have licensed free-to-air television stations other than state broadcasters. Many, many more have licensed radio stations, whether private, NGO-run or community-run. Many of these new radio stations are in vernacular languages, which means that for the first time people can hear arguments made and express themselves in the language which they are most comfortable. In the case of both Kenya and Uganda, there were well over 100 radio stations, both in English and vernacular languages, which gives some idea of the richness and complexity of this new media landscape. New media is opening up new ways of holding this democratic conversation. For example, Twitter in Africa is amongst the most popular sites in the country. SMS has been used to organise political demonstrations and to exchange political messages. In the case of Ethiopia and Mozambique, SMS services have been closed down, in Ethiopia's case for 2 years, in Mozambique's for 1 day. But what is happening is that mobile is becoming a media. All of the surveys that have been carried out show that between 10 and 15% of mobile users actually get information and news from their mobile phone within the last week. This kind of reach is either slightly behind newspapers or comparable with newspapers, and will surely soon catch up with newspapers, as will internet use within the next 3 to 5 years. In terms of the media mix, it is arguable that television should be a universal service. Similar arguments are made about radio and broadband, but leaving out television is neither logical nor equitable. The changes that are occurring through the digital transition in Africa, challenging though they are, both in terms of cost and implementation, provide one route through which this may become possible if there are independent signal carriers for all broadcasters offering a much wider transmission coverage area in their respective countries. Unfortunately, at this moment, African media hovers somewhere between patronage by either local politicians or the state and being a fully effective business. But how can effective businesses operate in a climate where government seeks to either close down or curtail their activities if they are offended by the coverage that they have heard? I would argue that a liberalised media with a strong economy that generates advertising is the best guarantor of a sustainable democratic conversation. Thank you.